try.
Yeah, maybe like I don't want to look like a Rasta person in this film.
But however, for a woman actually.
I tell them, what about to rock, paper, scissors? Rock, paper, scissors.
What was the best school experience?
It's like you're skipping.
Best school experience.
I think that's what they.
I don't know, the fun,
Yeah,
the people,
I think I would.
my classmates, squad, just that.
You all about
Just that.
friendship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that.
Upper Westlands.
What's your earliest memory as a child?
Okay, wanasemaga.
My first girlfriend. Brikicho.
There was a time we went to the market and the lady had us cut off, and I shouted to the mom, "Mom, tell that lady her cut is off." And I was only like around 3 years, so my mom kind of got embarrassed, but I got over it.
Could you describe yourself as, in one sentence, without mentioning your career or school?
Social, outgoing, and simple. Extrovert. Just that.
You love hanging out with people and interacting with people?
Yeah.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your trust in other people?
You know, it depends. Trust depends with someone. So it's going to be different. It's going to vary from one person to the other. So it can't be a fixed thing.
Do you think that trust comes easy with you?
Well, back in the day, it was quite easy, but these days I am super cautious. Yeah.
Yeah, in our last meeting, you had carried something with you.
Yes, I work with it throughout. I even have it.
Yeah?
It's in my jacket. Every single place I go,
Yeah.
I carry it.
What's that?
I was told it's called an electrician's knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say it's because it makes you feel safer? Why do you carry it? Let me just ask that. Why do you carry the knife?
Dear Kesho, are you fine? I don't know where you are, who you're with, or even how old you may be, but there are some things I must share with you. I live in interesting times, times where we fought no wars, yet battles never end. Casualties fall and forgotten by the day, and survivors are left with scars. Scars that forever remind them it never ends. I live in hard times, scary times where many things are wrong, but everyone smiles and says, I'm fine. And so I write this to tell you the truth. I don't know about you, but I live in troubled times. So read this and tell me if you really are fine. When's the last time you made a new friend? Well, today I've made several. And new friends have a way of showing us the same things in different perspective. With fresh eyes.
Every victim looks for a victim, especially victims of circumstances. Don't feel powerful again, so they look for a victim. And what they do is they do it in such a smart way because they identify a victim, befriend the victim, and sort of just wins the victim's trust over time. So they look like a very stand-up person, a friend actually, and you trust them and they call you and they actually care about you. what they're trying to do is just to sort of prepare you for the act.
He was a friend. I knew him since my campus years, in my campus days in Strathmore. We were friends. We knew each other in 2015. He wasn't a stranger at all. Yeah, we used to meet in school. Yeah, hang around in school just for some few minutes because we were doing different courses and all that. Anyway, so moving forward to that last Friday of January, we had prior conversations. He suggested that we should hang out. And I was like, okay, that's fine by me. He said that, he said that we should hang out. I was fine by that. And we suggested that we should go to Ngong Road because ideally, that's where he used to love hanging out, Ngong Road, the clubs along Ngong Road. So I was fine by that. So I told him, I'm fine with JIJENGE. We should go to JIJENGE Tavern. So great. So I told my mom that Friday, I told my mom that I will not be going home. I'm going for a night out. She was fine by it. That's how I operate. I informed my mom. And I work in Westlands, so that day I checked work late. At around 6:30 or 6:40, I called my friend. I asked him, where should we meet? Since the ideal plan was Ngong Road, so where should we meet? He told me it's too early. So do this, you just come to my place, then from there, come to my place for pre-game, then from there, we'll head to Ngong Road.
By the time that person invites the victim to their house, it means that the victim has already been won. And so they come, and the act happens.
It's a painful reality. It's like really hard to even hear that because it's true. Why would anyone hurt anyone in any situation? Of course, rape is like the worst kind of trauma you can put anyone through. It's possible that's a means to an end, yeah. I wish I had an answer for how you know. I don't.
Now, I know you expect more of me. I expect more of myself. But if this letter is to be truth, I need to paint the true colors of society's fabric. So I give a case scenario similar to Irene's. The two were friends who talk and occasionally flirt. So one evening, this lady goes over to the guy's place and drinks lead them late into the night. She decides to sleep over. The guy takes this opportunity to have sex against her wish. The next morning, the lady strongly feels like she was violated because sex that evening was not consented. She feels she was raped.
I think it wasn't rape because I don't know if you guys, do you know Jack Nicholson? Ever heard of him? He was once asked it was in a movie. He was asked by a woman, how do you know what women want? And then he said, think of a man and take away reason and accountability. That is what a woman is. It sounds insulting, but ukiona chini kabisa, there's some meaning to it. Because most cases, the one thing women fail everywhere across the norm is accountability for their actions and the consequences of their actions. Now, the thing is this. You're sexting with a person. So, you know where it will end up. You go to his house at night. You get drunk. You're a grown-up. So, then you sleep. I don't know, maybe she thought that nothing would happen. I don't know. And on top of that, I believe that this is a grown-up who should know that there are consequences to everything that you do. And then you say again, you think that you are raped. What does that even mean? Come on. Every human being should be accountable for their actions, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman. Yeah. This shouldn't be rape. Yeah.
When a man invites you to his place for a movie, why do you go? Expecting that it's just going to be a movie, or come, I'll cook for you. Yeah.
Kama amesema hakuwa anataka, hii inaweza kuwa rape. But sasa unajua ka tumesema ndio third party. Tulikuwa tuna chill. Alikuwa amekata maji pia, unajua akili pia inaweza kuwa anasema sikuwa nataka. Lakini sasa pia akajipa tu. Unajua dem, unajua pombe hii hufanya akili ina burst tu.
Like, that just tells you about how ugly the world is today, because we are literally, we've gotten to that point where we have to tell young girls, like, just know that evil could be lurking anywhere, that someone's urges can take over them and they won't be able to control themselves around you. Or like, those are the kind of things that little girls have to be educated about, which isn't right.
So yeah, I took a job. I went to Rongai. He gave me a specific landmark where I should alight. Fine, I alighted from the bus at that point at the stage. Yeah, he came for me. We went straight to his house. Then it was just easy. At first we were the two of us. Then after a while he called. He was just calling friends continually. One decided to show up. At that point I was lying on the couch, on his couch. One friend decided to show up. So when they came, the friend who came, I was with her. We were classmates in Strathmore. We were classmates, and still she was a friend to the guy. So we were three of us. Exactly, mutual friends. Three of us, we all knew each other. We were safe. Later on he called another guy, the neighbor. He lives in an apartment, so ideally the guy who lives right above him, he came. So we were 4 in total. At some point, the neighbor went back to his house. He came with a stash of weed. Yeah, he came back with it. At that point I was just tired. I was tipsy now, but I could tell this is you, this is you, this is you. But I was tipsy. I was not yet drunk. I was just tipsy. I was high. I had seen signs of us not going to JIJENGE, but he told me, don't worry, we will go. I just continued sleeping on the couch. I wasn't really focusing on time. Who usually checks time every now and then? I wasn't focusing on time. I remember I was woken up. I was told, let's hit the club.
I'll see you back in the days. Let's go. 1, 2, turn the kazi. Mini mugenge na pita gana zile ziko maji zime blake. Mini mugenge na pita gana zile ziko maji zime blake.
Why is it that when you talk about sex, it sounds so violent from a male perspective? Nilipita na udem, nilimkuta, nilimnyandua, nilimkanyaga, you know.
Porn culture, chapa ilale, vuka nayo.
It's violent. Yeah, it's rough. It's too aggressive. Yeah.
I feel like now rape it's like people are making it like a habit. Take for example in town. I don't know where, but then apparently people get raped there like every time. Women. And it happens and nobody is there to even help out. And it's just sad.
It doesn't just start at like the udem kuju mshiko wanze. It starts pole. There always all of these expectations utakuwa like ni dem niliongea, like tuna date lazima anipe, ati tulafiliana ni lazima.
Human beings are formed. My life probably formed me to be a counselor. Your life probably formed you to be a journalist or whatever you do. A rapist was formed to be a rapist.
We may not like it. In fact, we may even deny it. But perhaps we are the people our parents warned us about. We are our father's sons.
So now we're at the club. They ordered for drinks, but I was just tired. I was tired. They ordered for drinks. I insisted that I wanted water. Ideally, when you take water, you just don't take everything in one gulp. You just take in sips and all that. So 1 minute I was taking my water, it was fine. The next minute I'm sipping on my water, it has alcohol. He put alcohol in my water, my perpetrator. He put alcohol in my water. Still at that point, I had not raised nothing had hit my mind, nothing. I still knew I was safe. So what I reasoned was like, maybe he needed to chase his alcohol and there wasn't any soda or something, so he decided to use water. Nothing really sparked my mind. So I think I kept on complaining so much that I was tired and I needed to rest. And finally, the lady friend escorted me and now my perpetrator to the taxi area. So we were seated like this. I was seated right behind the taxi guy. As in I remember everything so well. Yeah, I was seated just right behind the taxi guy. Then he was seated here, I was seated here. Everyone checked from their own door. I could walk by myself. I was just tired, but I could walk by myself. We entered the main gate leading to the compound, and he helped me. Yeah, up the stairs. He helped me. He opened the door, and the first thing which came to my mind was like, finally, I can rest a bit before I go home. He led me straight to his bed. I mean, I was just tired. I was like, again, the other thought which came to my mind was like, I mean, he's a gentleman. He's offering me his bed to just rest before I go home. I made sure that I faced the wall like when I was sleeping to show that thank you so much for the offer that you've given me, but again, privacy. I was grateful, but then again, privacy. So we were the two of us. I had him lock the upper bolts and the lower bolts. That's one thing I'm very sure of. He locked the door. Then he came back to where I was. Then remember I was sleeping facing the wall. So he turned me over. Like I was now facing the ceiling. His hands were, he ran his hands behind my back and he unhooked my bra. He removed my, okay, he didn't really remove my bra at that point. He unhooked my bra. Then he removed my t-shirt and my bra. Again, he removed the blankets. I was exposed. Seconds later, not really seconds later, minutes later, he was there unbuckling my belts, unzipping my trousers. He was pulling my pants. I wasn't drunk totally. I was just tired. I've never felt like that ever in my life. So again, I don't really know if I was drugged. I don't know. What I remember is that I could not really feel my hands. I was weak, like totally weak. So at some point I really gave up. Because I was tired. I was trying my best. I was tired. I was pleading with him to leave me alone. He never wanted to hear anything of that sort. So he pulled my trousers, he pulled down my panties. I was on my periods at that point. Once he pulled down my panties, the only strength which I had was on my palms. Like I covered myself up like this, but he just did that. The next thing I remember, I felt my tampon chucking out of my body. And he went and switched off the lights. That I remember well. So when he went and switched off the lights, I was pleading with him. Actually, I was telling him, just leave me alone. There'll be a lot of blood everywhere. Just please leave me alone. I'm tired. I just want to rest. Please leave me alone. He told me, Mamangu atapanguza. Like that's what he said. So yeah, he switched off the lights. I thought he'd left me. So I went back. I turned. I faced the wall. So after I switched off the lights, then he came. He attacked me. Yes, he raped me. He kept on dragging me all over the bed, I was pleading with him, telling him to leave me alone. He didn't want to hear. I remember all that he was chanting. He was saying that I should just relax. I should give him 20 minutes, he'll be done. That he'll give me money to buy P2 in the morning. That he doesn't want to ejaculate in me. He kept on just saying nasty stuff. So I don't really know how long this went on, but at some point he left me. I slept. I had not switched off my alarm, so my alarm went off in the morning. My alarm went off. Then the first instance that came to my mind was like, okay, I didn't find any missed call. Okay, what's all this? I called my taxi guy immediately. I told him, come for me. So when I left, I checked from the bed going to pick my clothes. There was blood all over the floor because of my tampon. And the reasoning, like he stepped on it when he was navigating himself through in the darkness, so he didn't really, I don't know if, anyway, he just stepped, there was blood all over, footprints of blood all over. First instance which came to my mind, I rushed to his toilet. I took tissue paper, I put water, I wiped off the blood, everything. I wiped off everything. I dressed up and I just went to the sitting area, to the couch, trying to comprehend like every single thing that had happened to me, trying to comprehend. In a flash, my taxi guy was there in no time. I just left. I didn't even look back. I went up to where he was. I reclined my chair and I told him to add the volume, the sound level on the radio, and I just faced my door. Usually my taxi guy is a person, like he's my neighbor, so we usually talk every time that he comes for me. I just faced the door and told him we go home. So So ideally, that's what happened on that day.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Now, you may perhaps doubt the specifics of our story. The whats, the whens, the whos, the whys. But I do not even for a second doubt that we are lost. Min, how can it be so hard to identify right from wrong?
For me, what I always think about is, okay, if rape was only the woman's fault, then it would only be women who are maybe dressed inappropriately or something like that. But you have rape of children, you have rape of other men, you have rape of... It's never the person's fault who's raped. It's always the fault of the perpetrator. Yes, there could be miscommunication, but you have to be, like she said, emotionally intelligent enough to be like, okay, this isn't happening now.
Mi kuna dem tumesoma na yeye. Okay, nimesomea hapa Uticas hapa Nairobi. Huyo dem alilepiwa na kuwa wenye walikuwa wanatumia na wao drugs ndio tu walimlepa. Wambeshte yake.
You'll have to come to a state where you'll have to make that decision. Will you be a decent human being or not? It won't be limited to which church you go to or which religion you subscribe to. As a human being, you'll have to make that choice. Yeah.
But then, what defines goodness? There is an innate sense of consciousness within us that identifies what is good or what is not good, absent of it being defined by anything anyone subscribes to. A system within us that dictates the moral compass, so to speak, and determines what is good or what is not good. Like we know it.
Will you know it when you see it? I hope you do the right thing.